Twilight, oh Twilight, oh we're gonna Twilight to tomorrow, to new moon, eclipse and breaking down. Bum, bum. That's my song.
I like it.
What are we talking about on this video?
New moon.
No. No.
I hate you.
I actually love New Moon. I think it's like my favorite, like in the
not.
franchise.
You did not.
I love it. I love Jacob. He looks good. He's a wolf, and he turns into a wolf in this movie, and that's great. And there's motorcycle chase, and she was jumping in the water. It's got the most action in it. The Volteri are introduced. They go to what's that country called? Italy. I couldn't. That just escaped from your lungs.
It did not. It did not come out actually. Italy.
Italy. They go to Italy.
Yeah.
Edward becomes depressed. It's great. And I see its new character development.
Bro, do you want a fuzzy on your cheek?
I do.
I do.
And there's also vampires and
Vampires?
vampire from previous movie who was good vampire, not so much anymore because he's like, because the Collins got out, now I eat you, and that actually becomes important in later movies for the other movies, and eventually that is like what causes like the whole battle in the end. So this movie is actually very important to the lore of Twilight and Taylor Lautner.
I don't appreciate your sarcasm.
I'm not being. Do you think I'm being facetious? No, not at all.
This is the best movie.
I didn't say this is the best movie. I said this is the best Twilight movie.
Yeah.
And I'm explaining the motorcycle fight. And
motorcycle fight.
Well, yeah, there's motorcycles and there's a fight. Motorcycle fight.
Motorcycle, comma, fight.
And motorcycle fight and jump in the water. Am I mixing too many things here?
Jump in the water.
Yeah. And vampires. So, like, great movie.
You said vampire.
Actually, what do you think of New Moon? I'm very interested in, like, your opinion.
Why me?
Because you love Twilight. Like, you're, like, a really big fan of it, so I want to know what you think of this one.
I really hate Eclipse, but New Moon is second to worst. And I don't like that Edward leaves, and that's the whole movie, and it makes me mad. And I don't like Jacob, and everybody is, and I got bullied because I was not a team Jacob, I was a team Edward, and I'm still salty about that.
Oh.
So I do not like.
We're opening up some still fresh wounds.
Alright, is this therapy?
I don't know if I can handle this topic.
So that's my opinion. Jacob is trash, and he is toxic, and he is has anger issues. Oh, it's because he's a wolf. I'm like, well, he's still not a very good person.
Yeah, the Team Jacob, Team Edward thing. In retrospect, and having just watched the series,
he is very pushy.
He's awful. Jacob's not good.
Every conversation he has with Bella, he argues with her.
Yeah.
Because he does not like what she does. And
very controlling. For a person.
Why is it his choice?
Not
why is it his opinion?
Nobody has the right to control anyone, obviously. Let's get that out of the way. No one. You can't do that. That's toxic. But if you're going to be that way,
do it right.
Well, no. I mean, like, if you're gonna be toxic, it should be in a toxic relationship. The thing is, he doesn't even have a relationship with her.
So be toxic when you already are in a relationship.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it makes it even more confusing because they're not even dating. It's not even like he's a toxic boyfriend. He's just a toxic person.
Yeah.
Like, I get that people have friends like that, but it's just...
He was such a cutie when he was not a wolf, and then he cut his hair and got a tattoo and turned into a wolf.
He was a cutie as a shark boy.
He was so cute.
Much better in that movie.
And he's just mean and has some issues.
Yeah, no, especially by the other movies. I don't think he's as bad in this one, but definitely still.
He's so bad.
Yeah, and Breaking Down Part 1. Yeah, he's just Eclipse is probably his worst, just because he's... we'll get to that. But New Moon, I did see this one when it came out originally, because this is just like the other one. I believe No. But I think my sister owned the DVD, so I think that's... I think I was interested in watching this one because I saw the first one. And this one was, like, insufferable. I couldn't really comprehend at the time why I didn't like it too much. You know what's weird is actually this came out the same year as Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, which was like the second Transformers movie. And I loved the first one, so I saw the second one very excited. And that was like... there was like a... Because I saw someone mention this on Twitter. They were like, what's the first movie that made you realize that there could be bad movies? Because, when we were a kid, we're just like, oh, movie, look, picture. And we just kind of like it regardless. I felt like that with most movies, even like movies that weren't really aimed at children. But Transformers Revenge of the Fallen was the first time where I was like, I felt so off watching it. I was like, and like years later I realized, that was because that was my first experience with a bad movie, and I couldn't comprehend that there was like, it was a bad movie. I couldn't explain it. I'm
concerned I don't know what mine is.
Well, you might be able to find out if you just, think about some of the movies that you watch at like that age where you're kind of getting a little older.
I've probably had 1,000. You know how many movies I'm afraid of? Swear to God, it was probably Return of Oz.
New Moon came out the same year as that movie, and that was like around the same time I saw it, so I was like kind of in the same boat of like, this isn't very good, and I don't really know why. But watching it today, it's just like, no, it's because there's not really much of a story, whereas the first one barely had a story.
So glad you're on Team Edward too.
Edward's like nice. Like I don't know. I feel like this is I don't get why there were even teams, because it's clear who's better, and I'm guessing people like find this attractive, like this kind of guy, and
maybe if you like him for his looks, that's fine. But they liked him.
Yeah, they like.
And I want to know why.
Yeah. I don't know, it's just, he's a very, controlling dude, especially in the later movies. Not as bad here, but he's just a little, they kind of have a fling.
Swooped in quick after Edward left also.
And it's like, it's like a teenage fling thing, I get it, but it's just kind of, there's this like attitude in the movie that he has, and that's kind of his whole character, is that he becomes an angry boy at one point. That's kind of why he becomes the wolf, and it's supposed to tie into like, I guess, I don't know, it's just a very weird metaphor that they're trying to create there, because it's like about boys, sort of like the connection to puberty and like the entrance into manhood and masculinity, but it's like toxic masculinity, because it's like,
when you become a man, you get mean.
Well, but see, that's the thing. That's like what the movie's trying to say, and I'm like,
if you're a wolf,
I get. Yeah, and they're wolves, and the wolves look very bad in the movie. They always have.
Do not get better.
Well, actually, I would argue they look better in the other ones.
A little bit, but they're still not good.
Breaking Dawn Part 2, they don't look bad at all. They don't look real, but they don't look bad. This one, it's like, it literally feels like they rendered these in a completely different software than what the rest of the movie was edited in, because it's like very high quality movie, and then just like this fuzzy kind of blurry looking wolf appears, and it's like and it's, the proportions of it are very weird, which even that gets fixed in the later movies. Like, I swear to God, they are bigger in this movie, and it's like unrealistically big for a movie where they turn into werewolves, or wolves only, and not werewolves, just wolves. Very unrealistic how big they get. I don't like that Edward leaves for most of the movie. Not that he was the most interesting person, but I like Robert Pattinson. I always kind of did, and he's gone for most of this movie. I know that's a book thing, but still, I think he leaves for a very stupid reason.
Yeah. Especially
in retrospect, because that character named... what was his name?
Explain who it is.
I'm thinking of the guy who attacks Bella.
James.
James is like not...
I thought you said the guy who texts Bella. I'm like...
I'm gonna eat you. Nah, James. He he attacks her because he sees some blood quick, and then that's like what causes the whole family to be like, it's not safe, we have to leave. And it's like, I don't know. It's weird because you get to the later movies and he's not like that at all. And I get that the point is that, no, in that moment he completely changed because he literally couldn't control himself. But I'm saying that the later movies, especially when you find out how long he's been in existence, it doesn't really add up, is my problem. And I don't like that ends up being the final reason where Edward's like, I need to be done.
It's like something's supposed to be so special about her and irresistible. I don't like that word.
Well, I get that, but
that's what it makes it so hard.
But it doesn't. But nobody else has a problem.
They all do.
Yeah, but they don't. They control a lot better than him.
Jasper did not.
But I'm saying the later movies don't really add that up.
Rosalie does not.
Yeah.
When she has a baby, they don't. They don't control it very well.
Well, my point is, they technically handle it better than he did, and then even he handles it better in the first movie and the other one. So I'm just saying, in this movie, it doesn't really make sense to me. It wasn't portrayed in the first movie the way it ends up being in this movie, and then the other ones don't really help. And Edward leaving for that reason also just doesn't add up to me enough. It just doesn't seem like a good enough reason, even though there were kind of reasons before that. The ending of the movie is very anticlimactic, which is kind of an issue with all of these movies, but this one especially, because it's that whole scenario is stupid to me to begin with, but I get it because it's part of the vampire lore, and that's just kind of how you...
Fan of the Volturi?
I'm not. And okay, so first movie had a villain.
Pokes your eyes out.
And we were going to mention real quick that the Volturi show up in the later movies. And this is the first one they're in. Very end of the movie. And Dakota Fanning is in this one. I always forget that she shows up early on. So she's in this one. Correct.
Why you're like Voltaire and you're like Dakota Fanning?
Because she's the biggest name, and they were like, that was the thing that everybody was talking about at the time. But it does. The Volturi.
Yep.
Okay, so they're like the vampire leaders, kind of, because vampires gonna live without them anyway. But they kind of watch over everyone, and if a vampire is out acting up or kind of revealing too many secrets, he goes and kills. I'm getting comfortable with this. I have to really explain this.
Like this.
The Volturi are kind of just the overlords who watch over everything, and they've lived for centuries, and they're kind of scary because they will just kill a person if needed, and they'll kill a vampire if needed, and they feast on people who are visiting their place, and that's freaky. So they're freaky people, but I guess as far as the vampires go, and the fact that we're supposed to normalize the idea of them eating people, and that the Cullens are the only ones who are vegetarians, so I guess that's just like a happenstance, but technically vampires are meant to eat people and suck on people's blood, so it's all normal here.
What's your point?
My point is that they're portraying these people to be evil and scary, and they're not. They don't. So they are saying they're going to kill Edward if he goes and shows himself, and then after that, he doesn't, because Bella shows up and he's like, "Oh, I thought you were dead," and I was like, I forget exactly why he thought she was dead, but it was because someone said something to someone, and okay, fine, but he was gonna kill himself, basically, and then didn't because she shows up, but then they find out that, the human knows about the vampires, which is not what we're supposed to be doing, and then she's like, oh, but I'm gonna become a vampire, and I'm like, oh, okay, and then, she leaves, and it's
Is that why they spared her?
Kind of.
What was the other reason?
Because they knew that she would be of great importance, because she had a special skill, which was Dakota Fanning couldn't do whatever she does to people to Bella.
He couldn't either.
Yeah, because she has a blocking spell superpower.
Shield.
Whatever.
Shield.
Some of the vampires have superpowers and some don't. And people who are going to become vampires, or if they do become vampires, can really use their superpowers. So Bella kind of has a superpower already that she can use against vampires, but not conventionally. But if she were to become a vampire, she could use it conventionally and develop it. And possibly do real fun, nostalgic flashbacks for her husband if she wants.
Sorry, what movie are you talking about?
Anyways, my point is, the Volturi suck. They are not... and they portray them like they're meant to be villains, but they're lame. And it could be interesting to have, like a creature like that who, like, stalks over you, but they're not, like, the main villain of the piece. It'd be kind of cool to have a character like that, but my issue is then there's not any other villains in these movies. There's the one in the first movie, there's kind of one in Eclipse, but for the most part, there's not villains. Pretty much the Skippy of it.
Edward is gone, and Bella is depressed, and Jacob is a wolf.
And Anna Kendrick's annoying. We've gone over this many times. I said I think I like Anna Kendrick. I have yet to see a good movie of hers. That's not true. I liked her in 50-50. In the side role that she played in the film that a lot of people have forgotten about, 50-50. That's about it.
Play the same role in every movie?
In that movie, she's like a therapist?
Well, no, but every other movie.
Pretty much.
Blake Lively one. This show. Pitch Perfect. Twilight. Another one.
Noelle.
Yeah.
Not a fan of her movies. I don't know. I feel like she could be in a good movie.
You're a fan of her.
I think she could be in a good movie. I think she's been in a lot of bad stuff, which sucks. I'm not a Pitch Perfect fan, so...
My mom will not like that.
Well, hopefully she don't watch this. So, I don't know. This is a rough one because, yeah, nothing really happens, and anything that does happen feels very, like, not in character with any of them or, like, progressing the story. And a lot of it is just very laughable, especially, like, when she's like, oh, I'm gonna go risk my life because I want Edward to come save me, so I'm gonna go talk to these motorcycle dudes who... even they aren't, like, exactly what I would expect a motorcycle dude to be like. And that whole setup is weird. It's just a weird movie. Like, watching that, I'm like, this feels very much like it's trying to be a real thing, but it doesn't understand how a real thing like this works, you know?
What is one good thing about the movie?
There's none. I don't know. You know what I like? I like when they're in Italy, and I like when they're all wearing, like, their red robes, and...
That's it.
Yeah, that looks cool. I know it's, like, a real event that is done, but, like, that looks cool. That looks cool.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't like this movie. Like, there's not, like, it's not, like, I don't know, it's not, like, offensive. It's not, like, it's... drags on forever, but it just isn't very good. Like, it just it feels like a prelude.
Kind of makes me mad.
Yeah, it just feels like a prelude for the other movies that do it better. Not even that I like any of these movies like a ton, but the other movies do what this does just better.
Yeah.
So I think I gave it online like 2 out of 10. It was very low.
Oof.
Yeah.
This is your least favorite one?
Yeah, easily. You like New Moon a little bit more than Eclipse.
Yes.
But we'll get to that.
Because I cannot stand him in the next one.
Yeah, no, I agree. What'd you give this one?
What did I give it? Did I give it 6?
6? You gave the other one 7.
Yeah.
You gave this one 6 out of 10?
Yeah.
You didn't like it.
Well, the other one's gonna be 5.
Oh man, come on. Yeah, you gotta bring that.
I still like them.
You gotta bring that scale down.
I still like. Excuse me.
I give.
You give your numbers. I will give mine. I still like the movie.
Well, tell me what you like about it. We didn't hear that.
You didn't ask me.
Tell me what you like about it.
I like that scene.
What scene?
The one I told you about. When I don't know, this sounds so depressing.
Oh, you mean when she's sitting in the
sitting
chair
there and it's like changed the seasons and the months. It's very depressing, but I think
that is a pretty well put together scene, actually.
Visually pleasing.
Actually, that probably would be my favorite part, but it's just a very well put together shot.
It's very sad. It makes me cry.
Yeah.
When Edward leaves, it makes me cry too. It's a sad movie. It gets a 2. Just kidding. No, I like it. Eclipse is not good. I don't like that one.
So you heard it here first, folks. She likes it because it's sad.
Yeah. That's why people like Nicholas Sparks movies.
Well, good point.
Those are coming up.
Well, thanks for watching, everybody. That was Twilight, the Twilight Saga New Moon, as I guess the full title would be. Anyways, so next time we will be doing the third Marvel movie. Don't mock me. The third Marvel movie, Iron Man 2. And along with that, we will be doing the third Twilight movie, which, by the way, both of those movies also came out in 2010, interestingly enough. Iron Man 2, and then we will be talking about Eclipse. But thanks for watching.
Eclipse is not good.
It's not as good as everyone said it was going to be. But we'll get to that next time. Thanks to all my Patreon supporters. For only $7, you can get your own monthly movie review. Ask me to review anything I haven't already. There's also other perks like blogs, exclusive videos, and early access. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And thanks so much for watching this video.